En el marco de la conferencia de la Cámara Colombo-Nórdica, donde los expertos hablaron acerca de la creación de valor a través de HSE, Activo Legal logró una exclusiva con el señor Paul Bang, experto en temas de desarrollo normativo y gestión de seguridad, salud y medio ambiente. Es el encargado de asesorar al Ministerio de Petróleos de Noruega en toda el área documental. Dada la importancia que ha adquirido la exploración de hidrocarburos en el territorio nacional en los últimos años, y gracias a que esta búsqueda de materias primas ya ha comenzado a darse costa afuera, es de suma importancia ver y revisar la experiencia de Noruega en temas de HSE en extracción offshore, siendo ellos líderes a nivel mundial en este tipo de explotación. ¿Cuál es la recomendación que usted le deja a los colombianos en materia legal para la explotación y exploración offshore?
What I strongly recommend when I go around the world is that if you look at petroleum activity as a sector, then you have a law on the top level, and you need carefully to develop what I call the primary legislation level. What should come into a law, what should come into production sharing agreements. From a judicial point of view, this is essential and very important. Then underneath you have the secondary level of legislation. You need to develop regulation underneath the laws. And underneath the petroleum law in Norway, there are two considerations. It's the resource management and it's the safety management. All the requirements which comes into these regulations are vested in the petroleum law, of course. So, and you can choose, it's a very complicated picture because when you start to develop the secondary level, as you remember, as I said, you need the expertise, you need lawyers, but lawyers, normally judicial expertise is to quality assure that things are going judicially correct. Lawyers can't make up technical regulation, you need the technical experts. So you need to put together groups, lawyers and professional experts, and then you start the process of formulating technical regulation.
En términos legislativos, ¿cuáles son los mayores inconvenientes que Colombia está encarando para regular la explotación y exploración offshore?
From a judicial point of view, you should think this as a sort of a process starting at the primary level and then the secondary level of legislation. And also you have a very big challenge here in Colombia because environment are so linked into this. In Norway, environmental legislation is another story. We look at oil and gas is resource management of oil resources and it's safety management to do this business safely. So these elements are very linked together. Environment are very, very important, but environment is not a natural connected to this oil and gas industry. So you don't need an environmental expert to sit in a group and develop regulation in drilling and emergency and whatever, because it's the expertise from the core expertise of doing oil and gas you need.
¿Cuál es el elemento esencial de la HSE en la explotación y exploración offshore?
I think that possibly the industry is running, and they are running so fast that the government don't follow them. Then you get the asymmetric relationship. If the companies are the experts and the government can't keep up with the expertise, then you are very, very badly out. So to design a process of regulation making and to enforce regulation, you need capacity. Also within judicial expertise, because if you are judicial lawyers, you know that it's a lot of areas you can dig into and be an expert in. So you need to also judicial expertise to concentrate on regulating oil and gas, of course.
¿Usted cree que Colombia va por buen camino o esta asimetría de la que usted habla puede convertirse en un problema serio entre las compañías y el gobierno?
From what I've heard here today, I think that it's a lot of positive elements. I've been hearing a lot of positive elements, but I also, as I commented, when the government representatives were here, they come in, they give us a long speech, and then they go out again. I think it's a problem of introducing and establish a good legal framework for oil and gas. That's your most important challenge, as I see it, because I haven't seen a framework concentrating on regulating oil and gas. I've seen a lot about environment, I've heard a lot about many things, but I haven't seen a framework of regulating oil and gas.
¿Qué temas debería incluir Colombia en una eventual reforma a los códigos de explotación de petróleo?
If I was a minister in oil and energy, the first thing I would look into was how do the successful countries like Brazil in South America, like Norway, like UK, what kind of framework do they have? And I will immediately think of how could I pick up the best elements from the experience from these countries, and how can this be taken in to a Colombian oil and gas framework.